Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I am the City Witch, and today we're going to be reviewing this new book that I recently just completed and finished reading. It's called Hecatean Magick, a Grimoire to invite the goddess of the crossroads into your practice by Hecatus Apolloniensis. So this is what the book looks like, and I know it might not look like much on the outside, but please don't judge the book by its cover, because this book, honestly, as you can see, it's pretty thick. It is packed full of information, and it offers a lot of new, insightful ways to work with Hecate. So if you are already a devotee of Hecate, I can guarantee there's going to be new ideas and concepts in this book that you will enjoy and be able to sink your teeth into. If you are just starting your journey with Hecate, you've perhaps done some research about her and you're ready to start dipping your toes into magical practice, spells, rituals, ceremonies, sigil design, working with her various epithets, then this definitely is going to be a good book for you. It's going to offer you lots of new ways to work with her, never seen before anywhere else. And if you are a chaos practitioner or you enjoy the style of chaos magic that is out there, this also is going to be an interesting book, because this is written by a chaos magician, somebody that designs their own way of working and practicing various styles of magic through research and dedication and connection with Hecate. This writer, Hecatus, has designed a fantastic new way of working with her that he's sharing with you in this book. So if that sounds interesting to you, if it appeals to you, then please stay tuned to watch the full video so I can tell you all about this book. So before I continue, guys, if you do want to see more content like this and you enjoy my book reviews and you have any, thoughts and opinions on the books within the videos, please leave me a comment. I do check them every single day and I reply to as many as I can. So please go ahead and start a conversation on these videos that you're seeing on my channel. If you do enjoy my videos, please remember to give me a thumbs up, click the bell, and YouTube will tell you when my next video comes out. If you'd like to offer light, love and support to my channel, you can do that through Amazon and my PayPal link, both are provided. If you wish to contact me for any of my magical services, be it spellcasting, rituals, healing or divination, or if you'd just like to talk to me about some of the content within my videos or the books I'm reviewing, then please go ahead and contact me on either Facebook, Instagram, X, Tumblr or via email, and all the links are provided in the description of the video, guys. So thank you so much for watching this video and I do hope you enjoy it. So let's begin. Let's start by reading the back of the book first. In this grimoire, a complete new system of magic is presented. It will teach the practitioner how to invite Hecate into their magical endeavours or start knowing the many faces of this very ancient goddess. The approach of this book is based on chaos magic, as the system isn't derived from any existing traditions, but rather from my own experiences with Hecate and the creativity she inspired within me. What you're holding is a very practical grimoire you can use for addressing the difficulties you're facing, but it's also a kit to ask Hecate to nourish your spiritual flame if you so wish. What I share in these pages is meant to be a flexible practice that you can employ whether you're an occult practitioner or a devotee of Hecate. If you're moving the first steps to invite the goddess into your life, this grimoire will still be useful, being very user-friendly. In Hecatean Magick, you're going to discover a way to work with Hecate's epithets, wield your power through 70 daemons of the Hellenic tradition, and finally, you're going to learn about the magic of the Greek alphabet. This grimoire offers a system you can exploit in versatile ways and help you grow your connection with the goddess of the crossroads. If what you're reading sounds exciting for you, wait no more and start summoning Hecate's blessings in your life. If your intentions are sincere, Hecate will grant you the power to unlock your potential today. May the torch be lit and may the torch be passed. I love that last saying there. Let's start by taking a look at the contents of the book first. So we literally jumped straight into the contents of the book, by the way. It's the very first page. And in the contents, we have a preface. That is just a short introduction by Hecatus, explaining who he is and the idea of this book and how it kind of came to be. Then we have who is Hecate. Now that is a very brief introduction to who Hecate is. It's not going to give you a full rundown on her mythology and all of the information about her. So you will have to go out of your way to buy a second book or to research and look at the various source materials online about Hecate and deep dive into her mythology. Now, the reason this author didn't include all of that in this book is because it would take up too much space, which would reduce the space for the information given already within. So this isn't about teaching you exactly who Hecate is. This book is about teaching you how to work with her and to give you ideas and concepts and tips and tricks for developing your practice with Hecate. Then you get the structure and concept of this grimoire, which kind of is just teaching you how to use this book and how it's laid out. The concept of numen. So if you don't know what that is, numen is actually a Roman term. And I know Hecate was adopted into the Greek pantheon. However, as we know, the Romans kind of took over most of the world and they sucked into their traditions and practices many different deities and concepts and ideas from all over the world, anywhere they conquered. Rather than just say, no, you can't work with that deity or spirit, they just kind of adopted that spirit or deity into the fold so that it kind of kept everyone in line, it made everyone happy, and it didn't destroy anyone's belief systems, which is quite clever. Now, the concept of numen is a belief from the Romans that gods don't actually appear to you in human form. They actually communicate with you via symbols in nature and in your environment. So this concept is discussed within this book because you may experience Hecate or various other spirits reaching out to you in symbolic format. Then we go into discussing epithetical magic. So this is where you get the list of Hecate's various epithets. Now, the list isn't complete and it doesn't cover every single epithet because there are quite literally hundreds of them. But it does cover the main ones that you know and love, that you will have seen and heard about before, along with a few interesting ones. And they're broken down in a really good way as well. So you get the English name for that epithet, then you get the Greek name and pronunciation for that, and then a rundown of the details of that epithet and ideas on how to use that epithet magically. Then the ritual of Hecate's ring. So this is casting circles and connecting with Hecate, drawing her into your space and working with her magically. So there's some active stuff to do there. Then what is a daemon? So this is a breakdown on what a daemon is in Greek and Roman mythology. And then we get the list of the daemons talked about in this book. Now, in this book, these particular daemons are personifications of human concepts that are found in Greek mythology. And what this author did is, after reading the Greek magical papyri, he decided to kind of list them all and actually break them down into spirit format and give you the seals and sigils he designed for actually working with them. So there's a whole ritual format which you're given first of all with Hecate, on how to call upon Hecate's epithet, which is Mistress of Spirits, first, and have her authority to work with these daemons so that you're in control should you wish to work with these spirits. And then this author designed seals and sigils for those spirits to make it easy for you to connect with their energy. And how you connect to their energy is through pathworking. So if you don't know what that is, you may have to go out of your way to research pathworking, which I believe is a chaos technique. Now, I've done pathworking with the Goetia demons, and I've also done pathworking with various different deities, and I've experimented with it, and it does work if you do it properly and you know what you're doing, and it makes ritual with them very short and simple. So if you need to do something quick within a few minutes, pathworking is going to be the way to do it. So this actually teaches you how to pathwork to a basic level, and then you're going to be pathworking with the various daemons mentioned in this book. Then we have the stoichia. So what is stoichia? Stoichia is basically the belief that every letter in a power word holds power all on its own. And the reason that's important is because in Greek mythology, and this is mentioned in the Greek magical papyri as well, that a power word isn't just the word itself in its entirety becomes power. The individual letters also hold individual powers that when put together as a power word actually make the whole, but you can break it down into its elements, okay? So this talks about that concept and breaks it down very nicely and teaches you all about it, and then teaches you how to work with Hecatean Magick. And I do hope I'm pronouncing that word right. I'm probably saying it wrong, but you'll understand what I mean when you read this book if you choose to get it. So Hecatean Magick is about working with your vocal cords, pronunciation, sounding of certain letters, how to sound things out in Greek as well. So you actually get a lesson on pronunciation in Greek words and the Greek alphabet, and then putting that together and sounding them as a power word. The reason that's important is because in the next chapter, you're going to be actually working with the Greek alphabet and making sigils using that alphabet. And each letter in the Greek alphabet has been broken down into its numerical value, its magical qualities, what it translates to in English, and then is connected to a power word which connects to Hecate. And the reason he's done that is so that every time you create a sigil or a bind ruin using the Greek alphabet, it is connected into Hecate, making it a unique Hecate symbol that only you create, because you're going to be creating them each time you want to work with Hecate. So very interesting, very unique, and definitely a concept I've never come across before, but probably my favourite chapter in the whole book. So one thing that I do want to read you, and I only want to read you this just because the way it's worded by the author is probably way better than I could word it, and I think it introduces him and this book very nicely and gives you an idea of what to expect with this book. So he's kind of managing your expectations with this book before you buy it, okay? Which is why I want to read it to you, so that you have this information in advance and can decide for yourself if you want to get this book or not. So it's under the chapter, The Structure and Concept of this Grimoire. To begin with, I'd like to make very clear that all the content of this grimoire is a creation of mine. Whether some things are derived from history or even archaeology, this system remains a modern creation, and I do want to make it clear that it isn't something derived from secret traditions or underground covens. It's the product of my own studies and personal gnosis on magic and Hecate, which I decided to share. I think it's important to say this because I don't want you to have wrong expectations on this book. As a chaos magician, I create magic techniques and systems based on my ideas and beliefs, which I want to share with the world. I'm sure there are people out there who share similar views on magic who can enjoy this grimoire. On the other hand, this book is an act of devotion, a personal offering to Hecate herself. So never forget that its goal is to help people approach the goddess using one method among many others, and despite what reasons pushed you to this. I'd be a fool to affirm that this is the book about Hecatean Magick. It is not. It could become a key tool for you, or just another book from which you accept some tips. Each practitioner is different, and how you use this book is up to you. Probably I could sell more copies by adding an amazing story behind the creation of this grimoire, but my goal isn't money. The truth is that this grimoire was born thanks to many factors. By Hecate's inspiration, my growing devotion to her, and my passion for magic. The power offered in it is solid, and if you decide to wield it, I'm pretty sure you'll be surprised by the results. So I just wanted to read that out, guys, because like I said, in his own words, he's making it clear that this is his own gnosis. These are his own thoughts, his own ideas, and his own techniques he's developed for working with Hecate. So everything in this book is unique, and it makes it hard to negatively review someone's own gnosis, especially when the author is as grounded as this one. And there are books that I've reviewed in the past which have been not so grounded and come across as very, or at least some of the information came across as very unhinged, shall we say. Now, this book was refreshing because he approached the concept and ideas that he designed and created from a very grounded perspective. He gave you lots of information backing up what he's saying, how he developed these techniques, and where he got the inspiration from, which was the GMP, the Greek Magical Papyri, and of course his studies and teachings with Hecate herself. Now I'm going to talk to you about the positives of this book. I thought this book was very well written. It was interesting and full of amazing ideas and concepts. It was a fresh new take on working with Hecate that I have never seen before, and I enjoyed that. The author was upfront about this being his own personal gnosis. He created this system of magic to work with Hecate from his studies of the GMP and his skills as a chaos magician. And honestly, I loved how honest he was about that in this book. It was very refreshing for an author to just be upfront like that, and I enjoyed that. There is an amazing breakdown of Hecate's epithets in this book and how to work with them, and I'll show you that in a minute, guys. This book includes a large list of daemons that are personifications of human concepts found in the Greek mythology. Hecate has created matching seals that can be used to call upon or summon them. He created the seals using knowledge of the Greek magical system and alphabet. This is used similar to pathworking styles of magic. In particular, I enjoyed the unique way Hecate creates sigils using the Greek alphabet, even providing a correspondence list for each letter so you understand its magical qualities and numerical value. He then connected each letter to Hecate, so each sigil you create has her unique energy attached to it. So I'm going to kind of give you a flip through now before we talk about any negatives of this book. So first of all, this is the epithets, and I just want to take a moment to show you how many pages there is. So you go from page 44 to page 89. So there is a lot of epithets listed in this book, and this is how they are listed. And as you can see, I actually have a sticky note here, which means I use this quite a bit. So you get, first of all, the epithets listed in alphabetical order. As I said earlier, it's not all of the epithets because there are hundreds of them for Hecate, just so many. And if you're interested, guys, I actually have a list of all of the ones that I've personally discovered. It took me ages to list them all, and their English translation doesn't give you information on how to work with them and, you know, what you can do with that epithet. I think that should be your own personal journey, but it will give you a list of all of their names. So if you're interested, I can link that somewhere for you guys to be able to download it and enjoy if you want. So this book lists all of her well-known epithets and then some of the more unusual ones. So here we have Abroni. So we have the English translation and then the Greek word for it or name, and then broken down to what it means in English. So she who provides grace. Okay, then you get some information about that epithet. And I just want to read one that might be of interest to you guys, a slightly more well-known one, shall we say. So let's do this one, because I actually worked with this epithet recently. So this is Boroborophobia, she who eats filth. With the power of this epithet, you can ask Hecate to eliminate all negativity, bad thoughts, and all those negative emotions. It can be hard to proceed on our path if we're struggling and strangled by negativityness. Hence the power of this name, you can set yourself free. It's a very powerful name, Boroborophobia, as it allows you to get rid of anything that is detrimental to your health. Likewise, it can also be used to purify people, places, and objects. You can also include this name in any ritual of banishing and purification. When you feel overwhelmed, like you can't bear it anymore, you can offer every bad emotion or thought to Hecate, Boroborophobia, who will feast on those negative feelings, making you able to make room for more positive things to come. Now, one of the things that I discovered when working with this particular epithet of Hecate's was apparently she doesn't just feast and take all that negativity and filth from you. She actually stores it. And if it's been put there and your energy has been impacted by somebody else. So say they sent the evil eye, or they are jealous of you, or they have, affected you emotionally and mentally, spiritually, physically, and you are scarred in some way. And that you're harboring all that intense, horrible energy from them. She can take all of that out and she can send it right back to them. But you can choose when you want that to happen. So you can literally have all of that horrible energy sucked out of you, held in a special place, protected by Hecate herself. And then when you're ready, you can say, now I want that freed, give it back to them. And you can do that at any point you like. So that was an interesting tidbit of information that I discovered when I worked with that particular epithet. And I worked with this epithet very recently, which is why I chose to read that one out. But the reason I read it out as well is because it's giving you an idea of how to work with these various different epithets of Hecate. So you get a breakdown for each and every one, some information, and then ideas from this author on how he would probably work with that epithet. These are not the only ways to work with that epithet. Please be creative, think outside the box, ask Hecate for guidance as well. She will show you how to work with that epithet that is more unique to you in your practice, and obviously is going to help you on your journey. So she will guide you. But there are lots and lots of epithets to work with within this book. Then we kind of go into the information about the daemons in this book. So there is a breakdown on how to work with them, how to use the seals that are given in this book, how to activate them. So he teaches you all of that. So please don't panic when you see these, because you are taught how to use them. And then this is the list here. So this is what they look like. So you get the seal, which is, a fairly decent size. So you can screenshot it, you can print it off, you can meditate on it, you can put a candle on top of it. You could do a lot with this, guys. Just depends how you want to use it. Now, it's originally supposed to be used for path working, but that doesn't mean you can't chalk this on slate, that you can't print it out, that you can't burn it as part of a ritual, offer it to Hecate in the flames. There's a lot you could do with this. Ladies, your time of the month, you could activate it with your period blood if you wanted. And for those of you who do use bloodletting in their rituals, you can prick your finger and again activate with blood if you want. You can use saliva. There is a lot of different ways to activate seals. Now, path working is more about concentrating on the seal in a certain way. You say these power words which are given, and you're slowly working your way around all of these symbols and then into the middle to activate. And there's a certain way to do that is taught to you in this book, so please don't panic. So there are a lot of different daemons to work with, and as I said before, these are personifications of human concepts that are found in Greek mythology. So this first one, for example, Achilles, daemon of sadness, misery, and mental poisoning. And there is pretty much a daemon for everything in this book. One for contests and sports, one for modesty, reverence, and respect. For vengeance, we've got one for truth and sincerity, prowess and bravery, opportunity and right timing, fear or terror. What else do we have? Trickery, cunning, deception, and craftiness. A daemon of peace and tranquility. A daemon of truce and able to stop hostilities. So there is a lot of different daemons that you can work with for various different things in your practice. And the list kind of goes on and on. As you can see, there is quite a lot of them. Then next we go into the Stoichia magic and the breakdown of the Greek alphabet. So here you get the letter. So we're looking at A, which obviously stands for alpha. Numerical value is 1. And then you get the name of power, which activates this. Then you have what it's associated with. So this particular letter is associated with the moon. B, which is beta, is connected to Aries, and so on and so forth. And then you have the magical powers of that letter. So remember when I said how Stoichia is about breaking the word down so that you have the individual elements that represent certain energies. And then when you put them together, they make a power word as a whole. This is the breakdown. So for A, alpha, it says to affect the subconscious mind, yours or someone else's, enhance intuition and or psychic talents, help to switch view on something, learning to see it from a different angle, unification with the source, can add potency to any spell, specifically if performed in accordance with the moon's phases. So that tells you the breakdown of the Greek letter A for alpha, and he does that for all of them. Then he further breaks them down. So if you just want to work with the ones for the planets, you've got the breakdown there in a chart. Then you've got the ones here for the various different star signs. Then you've got the elements, and then you've got numbers and the Greek alphabet. So this is their numerical value. So all of this is explained to you in detail in the book. So again, don't panic if this looks complicated. It's actually really not. And then how to turn it into a Hellenic seal, sigil, or bind ruin. And here there's an example. So you usually use 3 letters to do that. You can use more, but he kind of explains how 3 is best. And then each of those with the power word connects to Hecate. So you're drawing upon Hecate's power, locking that into the symbol that you are creating for your craft and practice. So honestly, this was truly unique. I've never seen that before, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And it's probably my favourite chapter in the book, if I'm honest. So then you get some appendices at the back. So the first one, an opinion on some Hecate followers. So here Hecatus actually debunks a lot of false information out there on the internet about Hecate and actually corrects a lot of it. And I must say I agreed with everything he said. I love the way he was brutally honest in that particular section of the book. Then Appendix 2, offerings to Hecate. So, you know, even though this book isn't giving you everything about her, he still chose to add in some offerings because you're going to be working with her in this book and you're going to need to forge a connection. So he advises you how to do that, how to begin your journey with her, make an altar to her and give her offerings. And honestly, there were some really good ideas in there. And one of the things I took from him was actually offering to her the study of magic. So when I read a book now, especially when I was reading this one, I would say I dedicate this time of study and education to Hecate, which was a nice offering, and she actually really liked that, you know. So there was a lot of really cool ideas, I thought. Then Appendix 3, Vos Magicae, old and new ones. So this is words of power, old versus new, and experimenting with both of them. Meditating on the occult virtues of the word. There's a lot of mathematics in that section, guys. Again, don't be put off though, because it is interesting information. And then here we have words that he's chosen to give, which can connect into Hecate. So here we have this one. I'm going to try and pronounce it. I'll probably say it wrong, but here we go. Absantha, I think it said. So it says this one is a word of power, which is a magical name of Hecate as Anima Mundi, the soul of the world, who manages all the energies in the other realm, or our plane of existence, and many others. So this one connects to the Anima Mundi if you want to access Hecate's power through that concept. So this is basically just different epithets connected potentially with Hecate that you can work with, that he chose not to put in the epiphetical section because this is more about words of power or titles that were given to her that were not necessarily used magically but can be used magically. So you get extra ones there. Then there's a couple of like things you can try out. This is a spell that you can do. And then we have the next one is definition of power. And then we have the triangle of Pergamon. I think I'm saying that, Pergamon. Probably saying it wrong again. But this one is a well-known triangle that is used in Hecatean Magick. But this author, Hecatus, actually made alterations to it and changed it. So it was more adaptable to what you study and learn in his book. So an old concept with a fresh new take is how I describe this. Interesting, handy, unique, and I haven't used this yet, but I do plan to. And then lastly, we get some symbols of Hecate. And then we get a short guide on pronunciation. So this is actually really handy. Throughout the book, you get various different Greek words, and Hecate's chose to actually give you a guide on how to pronounce those words. So for example, let's see, where is it? There's a list here. Here we go. So PH, like F in English. So he's telling you it's a F sound, okay? Not a F like we usually would say. It's more of an F sounding. So he's helping you break it down, and he's helping you learn how to pronounce your Greek words. He also makes a point of saying that for some people, you might not want to use the Greek words and you might prefer to use English words. Maybe you don't feel like it's your right to use them, and that's fine. But if you're shying away out of laziness or fear, he says that's not acceptable, and you should put the effort in to learn, because it's going to strengthen your craft and practice. And I must say, I agree. If you're shying away out of fear because you think you're going to sound stupid pronouncing them, that's silly, because you're the only one that's going to be pronouncing them in your space. You're the only one who can perfect how they're pronounced and say them in a way that feels right to you and get it right through practice and experience. I've made a fool of myself numerous times pronouncing various different names throughout this video and many other videos, but I give it a go is the point. And no one should be ridiculed for that. So he actually teaches how to pronounce, how to sound the words out, and, you know, kind of gives you the basics, but there are more in-depth information out there, various sources on how to pronounce Greek words. So if you want to really go into that, there is information and books on that topic. He just gives you the basics here just to help you out and get you started. And then there is a lovely conclusion to the book. And again, he ends with, may the torch be lit, may the torch be passed. So in conclusion, the book is a unique look at working with Hecate. Do I think there's any negatives? It's hard to think of any negatives for this book since it is so unique and personal to the author. For me, I enjoyed this book so much that I would love to see more books written by this creator. And when I got to the end of this book, I was very sad that it was over. And I honestly, when I completed it, thought it was a truly amazing, interesting book. It's difficult because the book is, it's very much Hecate's, that's a mouthful, isn't it? Hecate's personal gnosis. And the ideas and concepts are very different and out there, but that doesn't mean they're wrong or bad. I personally got a lot out of this book. I enjoyed working through it, and I adored his approach to working with Hecate. I loved his dedication to her and his honesty throughout the book. And everything that I have tried in this book, and I tried a lot in this book, has worked wonderfully for me. So I don't think that he's wrong, because, like I said, I have gotten results from the work in this book. I just think it's very different, and some people might not like that. This book definitely won't be for everyone due to its very unique approach to Hecatean Magick. All of the content was created by Hecate's on his journey with Hecate, so it is unverified personal gnosis. However, if you are willing to experiment, to put this work to the test, you may discover new ways to work with Hecate. So I do encourage those of you who wish to devote more time and energy to Hecate, learn about her and work with her magically, to put the ideas and concepts in this book to the test. Try them for yourself is all I'm saying, guys. For me, this has definitely 100% made it in my magical library. I thought the book was phenomenally good, and it's absolutely a 10 out of 10 from me. I have used this book almost daily in my practice, and I continue to play around with the ideas in it, and he has inspired me to develop my own personal practice with Hecate and make it more unique. A lot of my practice with her was already certain ways that I like to work with her, but it was influenced by other people. And I actually want to make it more personal to me and her and develop my own unique practice with her that is more me and her and less of other people. And he's definitely inspired me to do that. But there are ideas and concepts from this book that I will never forget, that I will continue to use. And I thought the book was a stroke of genius, a work of art. So thank you to Hecate for creating this book. I thought it was wonderful, and thank you so much for your hard work and dedication and your devotion to Hecate. I'm sure she appreciates it. And for me, this book is definitely your dedication to her. I've also read Hecate's other 2 books. There are 2 more that you can get. Both of them work with path working techniques. So if that is your style of magic, you may enjoy them. The first one was on the Olympian gods and path working with them. And the second one was on the Titans, which are obviously older than the Olympian gods, and path working with them, which is the one I'm working through right now, which I'm thoroughly enjoying. So if that sounds like your cup of tea, you may as well buy all 3 books at once, guys. So that concludes my review. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions or inquiries, please leave a comment, guys. I do check every single day. Thank you so much for watching to the end and supporting me. I do appreciate it. And that concludes my review. Like I said, 10 out of 10 from me. So thank you very much for watching. Take care of yourselves and I'll see you soon. Blessed be.